Childhood. Remember when things used to be so much simpler? When all you had to worry about was coloring inside lines and running fast at recess? Looking back, everything feels so vivid still. And I think other people in my generation long for this same kind of simple pleasure. All I gotta say is nostalgia is a hell of a drug. But maybe there's a little bit more to that than we think. Lately, I've been super interested in liminal spaces. There's something about the barren, eerily comforting snapshots of time that evoke the feelings of childhood wonder, peace, and solace. These are places that hold distinct memories, places that we feel we've all been, places we know the smell of, the sound of, regardless of the exact location. I think for this reason, the idea of liminal spaces have had such a rise in popularity. They're like modern day time capsules that conserve our happiest memories, times where things were simpler. For this reason, I figured why not start a series here on this channel where I delve deeper into the past, tap into our nostalgia, and explore the feeling of liminality. Now, for this first video in the series, I wanted to focus on schools. Considering that we spent like the first 15 years of our life sitting behind a desk, it makes sense that seeing empty pictures related to schools would evoke some sort of strong feeling of nostalgia and liminality. So, I remember I used to be in theater growing up in middle school, which means I'd stay after, like, all the time. I would usually still be at school rehearsing or helping build sets well into the night. So, I lived pretty close, so I'd often bike to school. And when it came nighttime, I'd bike home at night, like really late. Was this the safest thing? Probably not, but there's a certain freedom to it that I liked. I remember our school had these huge windows in our commons area, and it was honestly so relaxing just watching the sun go down. I would often wander the halls when it got dark, and even now, I can still hear my footsteps echo on the tile. When we would be working on our projects, you would often be in an empty art room or like a classroom or something. I can still remember the fluorescent buzz of the lights and the rough navy blue carpet with staples that would be stuck inside. I remember the smell of the expo markers on the whiteboard that we would use, that we would, erase using our hands, and the weird, like, oily residue that it left on your fingers. All these memories live deep in my brain, so the fact that they come rushing to the front from just a picture of like a liminal space on the internet just goes to show how powerful liminal spaces actually are. So back in high school, because of the way that my high school was, I remember that we had to like volunteer enough hours if you wanted to graduate. So throughout the year, like all of me and my friends would be on the lookout for like community events that we could volunteer at. I personally really like volunteering, and I remember that when the time came, I would always volunteer at my old elementary's annual school carnival. The thing is, going back to a place that you think you remember so well, just for it to be completely different is a very odd feeling. For this reason, liminal spaces often tread the thin line between nostalgia and melancholy. Like when I would go back, I never realized how small the chairs were and how low the ceiling actually was. Were those the same computers I played Kid Pix and Cool Math on? Were those the same walls I remember running my fingers across as I would run through the hallways? As a kid, the annual school carnival was honestly magical. Like, yeah, I know that sounds corny, but what else could a kid want? I could play games, win prizes, play with my friends. It was the time of my life. But when I went back as a high schooler, it was just different. I never thought I would be the older person running the games, but I was. I still had fun, and it was nice being able to give back to some other kid's childhood, but I couldn't help but feel like I felt a little empty inside. Like for the first time, I genuinely felt like I was growing up, and the memories that I had were just that, memories. Schools are a special place for sure, It's a place where generations are defined and childhoods are made. The liminal feeling we get in our minds, wandering through our memories, it's a special one for sure. I'm curious, what do y'all remember so distinctly about y'all's school experience? Let me know in the comments. But for now, I'm Kari, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.